What's up, 2K fans? Dom2K on the mic, and today we're doing an experiment comparable to the one I just did probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was with the 2012 Knicks back in NBA2K12, and I had a bit of an interesting idea. So if you guys remember, the Golden State Warriors really just kind of came out of nowhere in 2015. They were a good team before that. However, nobody was looking at them saying, yeah, those guys are going to be champions next year, and then they're going to be a 73-win team 2 years later. Absolutely nobody thought that back in 2014. 2014 was not that long ago, yet in NBA years it was a while ago, because back then the Miami Heat were still dominant with their big three. The San Antonio Spurs were actually NBA champions this year, dominated the Heat 4-1 in the NBA Finals with like the most beautiful display of basketball we ever seen. OKC was definitely in the mix. And then there was the Warriors, who had surprised and upsetted the Nuggets the year before that, I believe. And then they were beaten 7 by the Clippers, I believe, this year. Yeah, they were a 6 seed. They won 51. They went like 51 and 21, right? They're 31. That would make sense. Yeah, because 30 plus 50 is 80. Yeah, there we go. They were like 51 and 31. So a decent record. I mean, anytime you win 50 games, that's a good thing. But today, you know, Kevin Durant has just joined the Golden State Warriors about a month ago, and that's led a lot of people to say, well, they're a super team now. They're unfair. They've made the NBA boring. But what I want to see is, let's back the clock up now 2 years ago, back up to 2K14, the 2013-2014 season, when the Warriors were still pretty much a middle of the pack team. Let's put Kevin Durant on that team and see if they would still win a championship. Would they be dominant? Because back then, I know it's hard to remember, a land before time, the Warriors weren't a powerhouse yet. Klay Thompson was an average player. I think he was only in his second year. He had just come off a 16-point per game average. Steph Curry was really good. He was low-key a killer already, averaging like 24 points. Probably like 7 assists back then. Before Steve Kerr's system took over, he still had a high number of assists. And then Draymond Green was only like a 5.6 rebound guy back then. He was not your triple-double machine yet. They had guys like Jermaine O'Neal on the team. They just were not that great. So let's go ahead and jump into it and check on the roster right here. And as you see, Kevin Durant's the highest rated player on here. Steph Curry, I don't know why that's a -1. I have no clue. But anyways, he's rated 87. They still had David Lee. This is like right before they let him go. And look at it. I mean, this is just a land before time. Klay Thompson's rated 75. His 37-point quarter hadn't even happened yet. Harrison Barnes. Go down here. You got Draymond Green is a 67. He's all the way down here. He's just not that great in this game. As you see, he was only averaging the year before this 2 points per game and no assists or anything like that. So it was just not a great time for Draymond yet. Of course, when this season happened, they all improved. But yeah, what we're going to see and what the goal is, obviously, is to just see with Kevin Durant on this specific Warriors roster, right before they became, you know, the powerhouse they were, would this propel them to become NBA champions? And so, obviously, I booted up NBA2K14. As painful as that was, I mean, the graphics look good, but the menu was so plain, and I had a hard time finding how to do anything with the rosters or whatever. Opened up a season, just in case you wanted to see the rosters from back then. Of course, you know, there's just a little bit of change, obviously. You still had LaMarcus Aldridge on the Blazers back then. Kevin Love was still a Timberwolf. This is back when the Nets were expected to be something, when they traded their whole future for Pearson Garnett. Of course, we all know how that turned out. And then, yeah, your major players back then, like I said, were just Miami. And then you had the Spurs and the Thunder. Like, those were your major players. Clippers were pretty good, too. I forgot when they got beat that year. I cannot remember exactly how they went out. I'm blanking on that at the moment. I think the Spurs beat them. I don't remember what happened that year, actually. Oh, yeah, it was the Thunder that beat them that year. And they won't be a player, actually, since KD is off there. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So I was hoping that they had like a better calendar form here. Unlike the 2Ks before and the 2Ks after, I just can't press X on this calendar date and simulate like I want to. That's pretty retarded. So whatever, we're just gonna go back to here. I know that game is against the Thunder at the end of November, and you know, whatever, it has the date right here anyways. That was a stupid debate I was having with myself. So we're gonna press simulate, and we're just gonna let it do its thing like we normally do. And okay, already starting off with a bunch of wins. There goes our first loss against the Sixers of all people. They beat the Spurs, so that's a really good good sign right there, because probably gonna have to beat them to win an NBA championship. You know, that's probably the only West team they're gonna have to go through. The West was good back then, but you know, Kevin Durant on the Warriors, this is something serious. Look at all these W's. I've only counted like 4 so far, I think. They are really killing it. They're 14-3. Okay, and it stopped simulating. All right, so through the first month, we're 14-3. I actually like the little screen they have over here to the right, because this is a pretty good place to see, or a good way to see where you are. They were 14-3. The Clippers are the closest to us with 19-8, and yeah, the Warriors are still dominating with KD. Check this out, they are still dominating. So only a couple box scores I wanted to look at. I wanted to see how they did against the Spurs. And David Lee's putting up 30 and 12 back then. Wow, is this the New York David Lee? I know a lot of you guys probably don't remember that, but he was a killer back when he was in New York. I even think he's our team. Curry only 12 points. Haven't seen a sight like that in a while. Yeah, this is so Kevin Durant, are they the leading guys like mostly for this team? Let's see. Would they beat the Clippers? Okay, yeah, David Lee is definitely an impact guy right here. For some reason, I skated right over that fact. How did they lose to the Sixers? Who? Evan Turner put the work in. Okay, that night KD only had 10 points, 12 rebounds. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. And then of course we played the Thunder twice in that span, and David Lee is killing it. This prompts me to want to go to the actual statistics. And okay, I wanted to see my team statistics. I just wanted to see how the team was performing. Okay, there we go. Player stats. Man, I'm having a hard time with this game. Forgive me. It's been years. So far through the first month, you see KD and Curry just basically killing it as the two main guys on the team. Curry's scoring average is down about 6 points, I believe that is. 5 or 6 points or whatever. And David Lee, he played a much more major part than I thought he would. I forgot that he was actually pretty good back then. The year right before this, he was putting up 18 and 11. So yeah, he's putting up around his average again. For some reason, I thought David Lee was only really good when he was on New York. Because he was hurt a lot is a thing. I know he was hurt a lot in Golden State. So like you see this 57 game year right here. So I kind of forgot that he was actually a major player back then. I know Bogut was hurt a lot too back then. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and simulate to the trade deadline, because I don't, or we can let's go ahead and simulate to the trade deadline, or the end of January. Let's do the end of January, yeah, because I don't want to spend forever just looking through all the box scores. And so now I did 1 month, now I'm doing 2 or 3 or whatever, and they are still dominating. Wow, nobody is a match for this Golden State team still. If this is if this looks like a sick foreshadowing event, that's probably because that's what it is. Because this Golden State team, I expect them to kill. Oh, look at that, they finally lost to San Antonio. Okay, it's funny how little the NBA changes though. Like, people move, teams make moves, but at the end of the day, you see the Spurs are still our biggest. It's been 2 years since this happened, and the Spurs are it's still Spurs and Warriors right now. Like in the West this year, you expect that it's going to be the Spurs and Warriors as the best two teams, unless Westbrook can really lead that Thunder squad. And yeah, it's only been 2 years, but yeah, man, it just goes to show. It goes to show that NBA changes, but it also doesn't. You can look at my video about should players be loyal to the team. I'll talk a little bit about that, where it seems like the same franchises are always good. Sometimes, some franchises are like a flash in the pan. And okay, there we go. So up into January, they are 36 and 12. They did take a couple of L's I was looking at as I was speaking. So they lost to the Clippers here, I see, by only 3 points, but 36 and 12 is still really good right now. They lost to the Thunder too. I bet you Westbrook had like 40 this game. Yeah, oh my god, I hit it right on the head. Check it out. 42 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah, he had a killer type game. Kevin Durant only had 18, so he didn't rise to the challenge necessarily right there. Keep going up. I, for some reason, completely skated over the fact they played Miami. Yeah, they lost to Miami. This is interesting because I'm pretty sure there's no question that they're going to play Miami in the finals, and James just dominated. And David Lee, I got to look at his stats. I didn't account for that when I started this video. As you see right here, a loss to the Spurs. Yeah, so they're beating up on every team they're supposed to beat up on, but they're having challenges with the teams you would expect, like Miami. The Rockets were a good team back then. Yeah, they're having their troubles against some of the teams that you would expect here. So what I want to do actually is something a little bit different, and I want to look at, first of all, where are we at in the standings. So get off this, I don't care about that. So as you see, it's about what you would expect right here in the East, except in the world where the Nets did not get injured. They're the 3rd seed. Miami, of course, is first, no challenge there. The Cavaliers are actually in the playoff seed. Wow, how about that? Then you look up in the West, and that's not the West, my bad. That's the West, there we go. Yeah, the Rockets are there. They're only 4 games behind us. Which conference is tighter right now? Yeah, it looks like the West is still pretty much tighter, even if it's by not that much. The playoffs started today. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The playoffs started today. It would be Kevin Durant against his now estranged teammate Westbrook, and that would be very fun to watch. But we're not going to watch that. So now I just want to look at the player stats, and before after this we're gonna go ahead and just simulate to the playoffs and look at all the awards and all that stuff. Check it out. Even back in 2014, Westbrook is unleashed without Kevin Durant. Yeah, look at that. 33 points he's averaging. That's not too far off to what he might average this year. You got LeBron basically averaging 30 points. He's probably going to be MVP because they're going to be on probably the best team. Kevin Durant is about 24 and 7, and David Lee should be somewhere here because he's been putting up buckets. I don't even know. He's not even in the top 20 in scoring, but every time I look at a box score, he's killing it. If you look at by position, for some, yeah, Kobe's still killing it. Probably on a very low field goal percentage. Just looking at this for fun, 43%. Yeah, it's not that good. It's not all good there. Okay, there's David Lee. 18 points. 18 points a night rebound. So he's been the X factor here. I didn't account for him at all. For some reason, that just blanked my mind that he was still a great power forward back then. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on and simulate the rest of this season. And we're going to, go ahead and find the end of this. It's been interesting so far. We're 36 and 12. See if we can hang on to that through the second stretch. And let's see what we got here. Of course, we got to beat the Bobcats. There we go. 3 wins in a row. This game takes a little bit long. Okay, lost to the Suns. Are we going to lose to the Sixers again? No, okay, good. Killed them just like they were supposed to. That would have been pretty fun to play, but, you know, that's not why we're here. Lost to the Rockets again. Okay, that's interesting because the Rockets are second seed, and from my count, we've now lost to them twice and beat them once. So that's going to be very fun. Lost to the Knicks there. Catching a couple of more L's in this second part of the season. We're 48 and 20. We're ending up a little bit, on the average side. Beat San Antonio by 1 point. A championship is not assured with this team because although they are doing very well, they are taking L's to they took a considerable amount to the Spurs, I see. And there we go. So the most valuable player, was there any doubt about this? You know, Westbrook probably would have got it if the Thunder were any good, but you know, they were like probably an 8th seed if they even made the playoffs. They gave Trey Brooke Rookie of the Year. That's funny. Okay, anyways, Nate Robinson. Okay, he put in work for the Nuggets with 6th Man of the Year. Larry Sanders, who is nowhere to be found anymore, got Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved. Yeah, I can dig that. Eric Bledsoe, he was pretty good back then. And we finished first. Check that out. Mark Jackson got Coach of the Year. He got his credit for the Warriors' success finally. You see Westbrook just had a monster year. Look at that. 33 points, 48% field goal shooting, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He absolutely killed it. But then there's James on the Heat, and we are probably going to be up here for a Warriors Heat showdown, which should be pretty fun. So, all right, look at that. We're playing the Thunder in the first round. So let's look at the playoff tree. First of all, let's look at some of the things we might have missed if we still can. So if we look at the conference here, of course, Miami finished first. The Nets, supposed to be super team, finished second. Cavaliers actually made the playoffs. I wonder how 2K came to that conclusion. You got Chicago here, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so did anybody notable get left off? Not sad. Nah, they got it about right. They got it about right. I don't remember. I think the Bucks were probably the team that made it over the Cavaliers. Oh, no, they made it. All right, whatever. We're just going to move on. And in the West, so you got the 2 Texas teams, the Clippers. You got us in first place. The Timberwolves made it. Kevin Love finally carried that squad to a playoff berth. And there are the Thunder in 8th. So our biggest threats are obviously, in this order, it's probably the Clippers. I would say the Rockets and then the Spurs. I think those are our biggest threats to a championship. I think we should kill the Thunder. Again, just want to look at my statistics and see how the Thunder performed as far as a unit. So if you look at this, you see Westbrook. Okay, my bad, wrong team. Go to the Warriors. KD absolutely killed it, 24 and 7. Steph Curry almost had an average of 20 points per game. It's going to be interesting to see how this even happens now because Curry's average this year was like 30 or something, wasn't it? And I mean, with KD there, somebody has to lose some shots. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Curry manages that. I don't expect either of these players to win MVP this year because their numbers are going to go down. It's that simple. They could be the best, but their numbers are going to go down. So then there's David Lee, Bogut. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players go to double digits, almost 6. This is really interesting because Klay Thompson, he took a cut from 16 to 9, which is you look at it this year, like, is he going to be the one to take the cut? Him or Draymond Green? You don't know. And yeah, let's see if this team is good enough to win an NBA championship. So if we go to playoff tree, I think we are. I think we're good enough. I made a prediction before in my Knicks video with Derrick Rose. I said that they weren't good enough to win the championship because they didn't have a bench. This team, even though it's 2014, 2 years ago, they still seem pretty laced. And David Lee made up for what they lost in that time reversal. So the Spurs should beat the Nuggets, obviously. Clippers should beat that. Rockets should beat them. I suspect it's going to be Heat Warriors, a 1-1 matchup. And I suspect that I don't know if the Warriors are going to beat them. Let's just see what happens. So let's go ahead and come on, 2K. You got to stop with this. You can't even just press select, like simulate current round. You can't do that like you could do the other 2Ks. Oh my god. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna go to game 4 and we're gonna go to simulate game. And we swept the Thunder. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so if you go to playoff tree. Oh my god, really? How did this happen? The Wolves beat the Clippers. Did I accidentally leave a legend on the Wolves? Okay, I was about to say, because I did have a Legends roster. I was wondering if I accidentally left them. Why are the Wolves so good? That's not logical. Wow, I'm just stunned. You can hear my voice right there. I'm pretty stunned about that one. That just doesn't. Rubio 29 points and 11 assists. What? I'm trying to remember if I did something to this squad. I'm a little bit scared now. Did this just ruin my video? Alright, if you look at the game scores, yeah, the Timberwolves, they beat them pretty decisively too. What the hell is this? Alright then, so yeah, we got the quote-unquote powerhouse Wolves in the second round. Okay, 2K, whatever you say. And then the Rockets and Spurs is going to happen. And then the Heat and Cavaliers, huh? That would have been funny if that ever happened in the playoffs. If the Cavaliers could have ever done anything for themselves without LeBron, that would have been hilarious. It looks like it's going to be Heat Nets over there in that round, so let's cross our fingers and hope we don't get dominated by the Wolves, shall we? Because I didn't expect that. L? Oh, no. Oh, no. Are we going to get beat by the Wolves? It's 2-2. Are we going to get beat by the Wolves? It's 2-2 right now. Bruh, what is this? Why are they so good? Why are the Wolves so good? Corey Brew is putting up buckets. 2K14, what are you doing? I didn't forget just because time passed. The Wolves were never that good, bro. I mean, maybe if they were healthy, maybe it would have turned out something like this. But they were never this good. I mean, Kevin Love was, but the Wolves weren't. Alright, so let's simulate one game at a time and cross our fingers and hope they don't ruin our... Okay, here we go. We blew them out like we were supposed to. Just finish them. Please finish them. Finish them. Thank God they finished them. Alright, we got them. And oh, look at this. It looks like the Rockets beat the Spurs 4-2. Wow. And then the Nets, oh my god, they got swept by the Bulls. Okay, so if we beat the powerhouse Wolves, one would assume we could beat the Rockets. So we're going to move on there. And the Cavaliers took the Miami Heat to the 7-game series. Bro, what is going on? 2K14 just like, you come back to this game and I don't know if they just assumed we were going to forget like what the teams were like back then. I mean, it looks like James, he dominated his old team, but still, like, why are they even here? Alright, well, this has turned out a lot more exciting than we thought it was. You know, I was expecting there to only be a couple of teams, and then, you know, we just almost get beat by the Wolves. Let's go ahead and beat the Rockets. We should beat them. This should be easier. Oh, not easier. Shouldn't be easier, but I don't know. I mean, okay, 2-2. Let's see what we get here. Simulate. Alright, we got them. And put them away to the finals. No, game 7. I really want to see what would happen if we played the Heat in the finals. Can we do it? Oh, we got eliminated by the Houston Rockets. Ouch. You forget that this is 2014 and the Heat destroyed the Rockets in the NBA Finals. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened. Let's go ahead and recap this. A little bit disappointed because I really did want to see what would have happened if the Warriors played them. But, you know, it's not like I'm going to rig it or anything. KD, you know, he did what he normally does. His average only went down a point in the playoffs. James and Westbrook were still the two best players. Derrick Rose, 2K14 doesn't know that he got injured in that preceding year, so he put up ridiculous averages that we haven't seen since like 2011. Jamal Crawford was the guy that had to do all the work. Where was Chris Paul? See, maybe that was okay. No, the Clippers had Chris Paul. I thought I might have left Chris Paul off the roster. Okay, no, he's there. Curry upped his average to 20 points a game for the playoffs. And let's look at what specifically happened here, because this is just that breaks my heart. I really wanted to see. All right, you don't always get what you want, but I really wanted to see that happen. I mean, I thought they could take the Rockets. Yeah, but they were good back then, though. You remember they got eliminated on that miracle shot by Damian Lillard, but the Rockets were a pretty good squad back then and could have went far. Who knows? But see, Curry had 36 in that game. How much did we lose by in a game 7? Oh my god, we got killed. It wasn't even close, and it was on our home floor. The Warriors have a thing for losing game 7s when they shouldn't. Aaron Brooks put up 31. Alright, I'm done with 2K14. I'm done. I've seen enough. Aaron Brooks, Corey Brewer, they're just superstars. And the Heat didn't even struggle, as they wouldn't have in real life. They didn't even struggle with the Rockets. They beat them in 5 quick, simple games, it looks like. Yeah, that was pretty simple. So, there you have it. If Kevin Durant was on the Warriors in 2014, according to NBA 2K14, that somehow got to the conclusion that the Wolves were a powerhouse and could somehow sweep the Clippers and somehow have the Cavaliers in a 4th seed, taking the powerhouse Heat to 7 games. Yeah, we're trusting the judgment of 2K14 to say that the Warriors would have only made it to the Western Conference Finals, and Kevin Durant, David Lee, and Curry would not have been able to do enough to get them to play the Miami Heat. And even if they did get there, but looking at it, who knows if we would have actually been a challenge for them. So I had fun with that. I had no clue what was going to happen. I definitely didn't expect the Wolves to be there. This goes under the banner of my mini what-if scenarios, because this is just me simulating a season. These don't really take, a whole lot of effort. If you have any that you would like to see, leave a comment in the comment section, because we could probably come up with a million what-if scenarios, little mini versions of these, and simulate a season and see how they would do. If you have any that you would like to see, let me know. I try to do like a couple of these in a month. I don't like to oversaturate it, but if they're there, I'll take the opportunity. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll be back on the next video.